Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the latest rumor is that Brandon Ingram could be in play for the LA Lakers. Now, how much it's going to cost to get him, I don't really know. I'm not really sure because from what I understand, he's yet to be paid, so it could probably be a rental either way. I think he's up for his free agency now. I don't know if it'd be a sign and trade, as to which we'd be probably trying to pay him probably the requisite amount of salary that we'd be giving, say, Rui and Gabe, and maybe that's how it would have to go combined. I guess that would be the salary. So you would effectively be signing up for him for year number 3. And I never thought, I'm gonna tell you the truth, I never thought Brandon Ingram was as bad a fit as people made it out to be with LeBron James. I just think Brandon Ingram was trying to come into his own at the time as a one-on-one player. But the idea that Brandon Ingram is incapable of playing off the ball, or he can't be decent catching and shooting, I think is overstated. I think he's probably better off the ball than he's probably been asked to be, because he has such strong strengths in playing on ball. So I never wanted to give up Brandon Ingram. I was never in the business of giving up somebody with that type of length. I think since he's left the Los Angeles Lakers, it's noteworthy to say that he's had injury issues pretty much the whole time he's been in New Orleans. So from that perspective, you're happy that he didn't spend the last couple years in your uniform missing all them damn games. But as far as me welcoming B.I. back, yeah, that would not be hard at all. I never wanted to trade him in the first place, personally. I always thought you were better with Anthony Davis and Brandon Ingram, because I'm a big fan of that type of length being on the floor at the same time. But, you know, at the end of the day, I don't know if Brandon Ingram has ever panned out to be exactly what we thought he would be at second overall pick. But I still think, believe it or not, it's probably still kind of early in the game for B.I. I don't think he's reached his peak yet. I think he's still entering his prime. But if injury issues are going to tell the story, you don't really want to deal with that. But I don't think he's been under the knife for anything. I don't think he's had any type of surgeries whatsoever. So when you consider in Brandon Ingram, if anything, it's just been, you know, issues with leg stuff that hasn't required surgeries or stuff like that. So I don't really know his injury history. I just know he's missed a lot of games, and that's kind of what's been the reputation there. But as far as I'm concerned, that was never a player I was interested in trading in the first place. And given the fact that he's probably only 26, 27 years old right now, there's still plenty of basketball left in him. Would I give up 2 picks to get Brandon Ingram? I mean, in the market, yeah. But for the Lakers, that's going to be hard. That's going to be a hard sell, because at the end of the day, I'm not open for really trading 2 picks for anything, really at all. But is he two picks worth a player? I think he could be. If he's healthy, plays a good 70 games for you, yeah, that's probably worth it if you're going to sign him to a nice long deal, 4 years, something like that. You probably feel good, depending on the dollar amount of what you're paying him, that type of trade package. So salary match, 2 picks is probably fair for Brandon Ingram in most situations. But I think, if I'm being real, I think you may not even have to do that, given the fact that there's some urgency to move him. You may not actually have to give up as much as maybe he would be worth in theory. But in that same breath, I could be very wrong, because I think that the market for Brandon Ingram is pretty good. And I think a team like San Antonio, I rumored them out of my own skull. I kind of put that rumor in the air that they may be interested in signing Brandon Ingram on a sign and trade with New Orleans. And then I read somewhere that was actually the case, that they were interested in Brandon Ingram. And there was 2 other teams too. I don't remember what those 2 teams were. But the point is Brandon Ingram has some interest out there. And it's one of those situations where you want to put him in the strongest position to be able to do what he does best. You don't want him necessarily feeling like he has to play off ball. And I don't know that this situation ultimately allows for him not to be forced to kind of do things that are not natural to him. So is this the best fit for B.I.? I don't know that it is. But as far as the Lakers being interested in bringing Brandon Ingram back, I would definitely want to field calls to see what it would take to get him, and furthermore, see what it would take to keep him. What type of deal does he want? Because the type of deal that he's been offered, I don't think really fit what he wanted to do. I think he was up for signing some type of $270 million Donovan Mitchell type of deal, and I just don't think that was really ever something anybody wanted to pay him, to be honest with you. Nah, I'm not. I'm not up for paying him the type of money that probably he's due to get from New Orleans. But if we can cut that down to something that makes a lot more sense to the Lakers, I would love to give him a deal. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I think Brandon Ingram is just exactly the type of player you want in your situation upon LeBron's exodus. And at the time that Anthony Davis, Brandon Ingram would be coming into his prime would probably be when you expect LeBron James to retire. So it makes sense, even more so for an Anthony Davis, Brandon Ingram type of team going forward in your rebuild, or rather keeping you from having to rebuild, is what I'm trying to say. So it's all right. It's all right. If we can pull off bringing in Brandon Ingram, I don't think we'll regret it. The question is, if we give up what it takes to get him, will it be a rental? Or risking the idea of it being a rental by maybe him not taking our offer? Because if that's the case, I hold on to my stuff, man. I hold on to what I have and find another way. But if we can guarantee him being on contract, then trading for him would be something I'd be interested in doing for the right price. So that's really my whole take on Brandon Ingram. It's a lot of stipulations that fall into place for me, but if it all panned out the way I wanted it to, I would be happy to bring Brandon back. Probably more so than Kuzma, to be honest with you. Probably more so than Kuzma. I like Kuz, but I didn't love Kuz as a Laker. Liked him. But as far as me giving up 2 picks and paying his salary, I don't know if I buy into the Kuzma going forward like I thought I would when he was first drafted. I think he's a bit better than a role player, but I don't quite think I see all-star in going forward. I just remember too much bad Kuz for me to be hell-bent on bringing him back. As to where I have a lot of good BI in my mind when considering which to choose from if I had a choice. I would welcome either one of them. Hell, I'd welcome them both back if such a thing were possible, but I think the truth of the matter is if I had to choose one, it would still be BI at this stage. But just the same, probably Kuz would be better in the role. Off ball, probably in theory be better in the role. So I don't know, man. I think it's never really fun for me to consider that we had all these pieces and we gave them away for stupid stuff, if I'm being completely honest with you. Maybe you don't feel that way about the Anthony Davis trade, but the Russell Westbrook trade, obviously. So I never was really on board with the Anthony Davis trade either, and you guys know that. I've been on record saying a million times that I wouldn't have did that. Oh, and I would have waited to the next summer, as to which he was a lock to sign with us because he didn't want to go anywhere else. So it was like he was coming either way. I didn't have to give up picks and players to get him. I essentially paid that price in my mind for just 1 year's Anthony Davis, not for the entire Anthony Davis tenure that he's been here. Because all that ended up happening is he entered free agency and we re-signed him. So you gave away so much just to have him for that 1 year. And when you look at it that way, yes, we won the championship that year. So maybe it's always worth it to everybody. But when I look at what we've been ever since, I don't think we've been able to build a champion since. And a good portion of that is because of what we gave up in the Anthony Davis trade. So could we have won the championship against Milwaukee? Maybe. You know what I'm saying? Could we have won the championship against Golden State or the Boston Celtics? It would have beat Golden State? Yeah, I think so. If we would have kept everything we had, we would have been better than those teams. So it's like, yes, we won the championship. Did we forego maybe 2 or 3 championships? Probably, yeah. In my mind, we probably gave up an opportunity at 3 or 4 more championships. And you consider the Russell Westbrook trade, how that tumbled forward. If you wouldn't have made the Anthony Davis trade and signed Anthony Davis outright, you probably still would have lost BI in some type of situation on a signing trade or something like that, because the salaries wouldn't have been able to fit all together. But you would have still had Kuzma, you would have still had all your picks, and you probably would have never felt inclined to make a Russell Westbrook trade. So I don't know, man. I just feel like the path that we're on, having had 2020 one championship in the bubble, I think we probably still would have won a championship at some point if we wouldn't have made that Anthony Davis trade and signed him outright any damn way. I think that. A lot of things are in play when you consider the pandemic and how that shook some things loose. But Anthony Davis wanted to be a Laker. He's probably still another Laker. So I don't know, man. Now we want to get back everything we lost, everything we gave up. People are targeting all these players that we used to have at like double and triple the price that it cost to just have kept them. Now you're like giving up 2 and 3 picks for BI. BI is one of them picks. I mean, you consider you drafted BI. You know, so I don't know, man. I just think that the Los Angeles Lakers, it's almost like I was talking to a friend of mine about going back into old relationships and doubling back can sometimes keep, you know, the reasons you double back is because you're afraid of what comes of what could possibly be revisited when you do something new. Maybe the last new thing you did didn't work out, so you're afraid to do something new. So you rather double back to something familiar, even though it wasn't good for you either. Sometimes you miss your blessing when you do that. And I don't know that that's much different in other aspects of the world, of life. In basketball, you want to get Kuzma back. You want to get Brandon back. Because you don't want to bring someone new into the equation that maybe you don't know. You don't want to start over getting to know somebody new. You want familiar. But familiar may not always be what's best. Sometimes it's time to let something new in. Maybe the best thing you will have is the next thing you will have. Next thing you'll try. Rather than trying to double back, say, let me see if I can get Kuzma at 3 times the price I gave him up for. Let me see if I can get BI back for 3 times the price. It's like, nah, man. How about you just stop mortgaging your picks and then draft the next version of what you are familiar with? Maybe then keep it and treat it better so that you don't lose it to begin with. Like, these are the type of things I think the Lakers need to adapt to, considering when going forward. It's too much need for familiarity. It's too much need to revisit the past. I need Showtime back. I need Phil back. I need Pat Riley back. No, you don't. You just need to find the next whatever new is. And just like you fell in love with all that stuff when it was new, you may fall in love with the next thing that you find when it's new. So that's my point of view. I just don't think the Lakers are open to new. And I think that that's a mistake. I think it's a big mistake when you consider people are taking advantage of us when we try to chase stuff down that we already had. So that's what I think, man. Get something new, man. I don't need to revisit old players and stuff like that. He put on a uniform before, cool, but that doesn't mean he needs to put it on again, that kind of thing. So if it makes sense, do it. If it doesn't make sense, go for something new, man. BDR44. I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.